Howdy y'all, welcome to Hazy Barrel Craftworks. I'm the Alchemist. Today we're checking out a bottle that commemorates the 250th anniversary of the U.S. Army. The U.S. Army was formed in June of 1775, June 14th that is. And this bottle comes to us from the Art of Spirits. And the Art of Spirits, they don't have their own distillery. This is an NDP bottle, and to me there is nothing wrong with an NDP if you know what you're doing and you do it right. To me that's fantastic. Art of Spirits is in Colorado, and this bottle is 151.6 proof, so it is not for the faint of heart, and it's gonna knock some of y'all's socks off if you get a hold of this bottle and give it a try. And this is aged for 13 years. So, to me, if we're looking at NDP, this is not disclosed. What it does, what I can find out about it is it's a 65% corn, 36% rye, and 4% malted barley. So if I've got to speculate on this bottle, I'm saying that this is probably an MGP out of Indiana. However, there are folk out there that speculate a little bit different than myself. Some of them say that this is a holiday bottle. And if it's a holiday bottle, then, well, the mash bill is going to be different, a little bit different. But in my personal opinion, I don't think you're going to get a 13-year holiday bottle for one. And I don't think you're going to get a 150 plus hazmat out of holiday. This is my opinion. Therefore, I'm leaning a little bit more towards that MGP bottle out of Indiana. And I tell you what, I've had several different MGPs doing some barrel picks over the last year and a half, and they're really good. So I expect nothing less out of this. And as you can see, I've had a little bit of this bottle, so I kind of know I'm not expecting anything less out of this one. This bottle is a 1 in a 3-part series from Art of Spirits. They commemorated the U.S. Army, the Marines, and the Navy. But this, however, is the only bottle that I have been able to get my hands on. I love the color on this. I gotta say, I love it. Roll this Glen just a little bit. And oh my, it's oily. It looks viscous on there. But I don't always judge by looks. Let's see what's inside this one. Let's unwrap it. Let's give it a nose. Whoa. It's definitely a hazmat. This is one of those, if I nose a little too heavy, a little too deep, I'm going to be coughing through this entire video. But the first thing I get on the nose, other than that nice hazmat heat, it's a very seasoned oak to me. And the sweetness that I get on this one right now is molasses. And a bit of chocolate. But let's dive in on this one because I'm dying to sip it. I could give that one a Kentucky chew all day long. That hazmat heat on the tip of the tongue, really nice. I mean, it gives you the heat. It brings the heat. It is on the tongue. But the heat is not enough just to take over everything. There is flavor here. And the first thing I'm getting on the palate is a really nice, I'm going to call it a burnt sugar. It is sweet. It's deeply sweet. And it's a burnt sugar to me because it's like a white sugar, but it's not just taking a teaspoon of white sugar and you're done. It's like a burnt sugar. It's been put in a pan and it's been melted in that pan and it's turning brown. It's turning dark brown. And this is not the same as brown sugar, like you make and use molasses to make a brown sugar and even more molasses to make a dark brown sugar. This is white sugar that is turning dark. That viscosity, I can't get enough. To me, I think I mentioned on the nose, there's a little bit of chocolate. But as I get to the back end of the palate, there's also some coffee bean. But I also get that coffee bean as like, if any of y'all have ever had that chocolate covered coffee bean, there's that, because there's a little bit of that chocolate. It's more of a dark chocolate to me, but there's also a coffee bean distinctly, and it's almost like they're mixed to me on the back of the palate. And I get that oak barrel back there as well, and I get some cinnamon. But as things are dissipating away, that cinnamon is more on the front of the palate, along with that heat. And one thing I have to mention on this one, the Kentucky hug on this one is outstanding. And you know, I reckon you got to expect that at 150 plus proof. So nice. And the finish on this one, the finish as things are fading away, that cinnamon kind of gives away a little bit to a rye spice, which I can't say is unexpected, given you got a 36% rye on this one. But it's a good rye spice. It's a rye spice that invites almost a rye candy to it, in my opinion, and on my palate. And there's certainly an oakiness on here, a barrel on here that has the barrel spices with it. And when I'm talking barrel spices on this one, to me, there's many different types of barrel spices that complement that oak. And to me, the barrel spices on this, they're just a moment. Yeah, perhaps an excuse to take another sip of this delicious bottle. The barrel spices to me are more of you've got a clove, because it's a bit stronger. But there's this sweetness to this entire bottle, despite that hazmat, despite that heat you get. Oh man, that heat is nice. There's that clove that's stronger, like I said, but then there's also a nutmeg that brings in the sweetness. And believe it or not, the MSRP on this one originally was about $110 or so. But the secondary is driving this one up. I've seen it as high lately as about $280. And to me, this one is a must-have. If I could find the Marine and I could find the Navy bottles, I would for sure add these to my collection, because to me, this bottle is fantastic. So if you can handle the proof, add this one to your collection, celebrate that 250 years. And as y'all know, I love to have y'all coming back around. So please take it easy. Don't drink and drive. Cheers.